Have you ever seen someone wearing a trend and somehow it still looks completely timeless? One thing that stood out to me in Paris this spring was that the most stylish women weren't avoiding trends, they were just wearing them differently. Everywhere I looked, women of all ages were incorporating current pieces into wardrobes that still felt classic and effortless. I'm Sarai and I've been sewing for almost 30 years and teaching you how to create a meaningful, custom wardrobe for the last 15. Today, I'm sharing 5 trends I saw repeatedly on the streets of Paris, along with the specific patterns, fabrics, and styling choices that make them feel chic rather than short-lived, so you can create them too. Let's start with a trend that was genuinely impossible to miss: wide leg trousers. I saw them absolutely everywhere on women of all ages and every fabric you can imagine. My favorite was a woman I saw waiting for the metro. She had on wide leg dark denim trousers, a white button-up, simple gold jewelry, expensive looking sunglasses, and gray hair swept up into a perfect bun. It sounds simple, but she looked incredibly sophisticated and polished, even though it was almost 90 degrees out. So there were 2 distinct ways people were wearing this trend. The first is what I'd call the soft, flowy version, something closer to a palazzo pant. Light fabrics, a lot of air, that barely there feeling when you walk. And the second is the more menswear-inspired trouser, structured, often with a pleat at the front. What I love about this trend is that it's genuinely comfortable while still looking effortlessly polished. The silhouette is forgiving, comfortable, and genuinely classic. Think Katharine Hepburn or Ingrid Bergman. They work in the summer heat because they give you airflow, and in the cold, you just layer leggings or tights underneath. One pant every season. Sewing your own means you get the perfect pair for your wardrobe, and that's something you just can't buy. There are 4 patterns I'd point you toward here, depending on which version of this trend speaks to you. Birch is my top recommendation if you want the look without any fussy construction. It's a wide leg pull-on trouser that's semi-fitted through the hips and has a pin tuck down each leg, flat front waistband, elastic in the back, and belt loops. It's both relaxed and refined, which is exactly what you want. For fabric, I'd go medium weight: cotton twill, linen, chambray, denim. For summer, a white or navy linen. In fall, a lightweight wool suiting. If you want something with a proper zipper fly and a bit more tailoring, try Noah. It's a high-rise trouser fitted through the hip with front welt pockets, back patch pockets, and top stitch darts. Noah looks great in your favorite bottom weight fabrics like denim, twill, corduroy, linen, or suiting. I'd make these in a dark indigo denim to make some chic trouser jeans. In fact, I might do exactly that this fall. Here's one you might not expect: Palmer. These are technically a knit pattern, but they are the secret weapon of this trend. They feel like the world's most comfortable sweatpants. They look like real trousers. Ponte is my absolute favorite fabric for these, especially in a deep navy or a chocolate brown. You need at least 35% stretch, so reach for Ponte, French terry, or double knits. Pair them with a button-up and loafers and no one will ever guess. And if the flowy palazzo version is more your thing, take a look at Merit. These have a loose fit through the hips and legs with deep front pleats that just beg for something drapey. Rayon challis, rayon crepe, silk crepe, or a lightweight linen. Now, if you're looking at all of these patterns and already thinking about how you'd fit them into your wardrobe, you should download the free Seamwork Wardrobe Planning Kit. It includes our wardrobe planner, plus all the essential tips you need to build a plan for your next season of sewing. So you're sewing things that actually work together, not just individual pieces that never quite make it out of the closet. The link is in the description below. It's completely free, so definitely grab it. Let's talk about the other big silhouette I kept seeing: the full skirt. I saw tons of women wearing full skirts in cotton poplin and other crisp fabrics. One look I saw frequently was a full sweeping skirt in a crisp cotton poplin paired with a minimalist high neck tank. Simple, put together, and completely effortless. The second combo really got me. The same big skirt, but with an oversized button-up on top. There's something about that slight androgyny mixed with the old-fashioned fullness of the skirt that just works. The key with both looks was contrast. The skirt does the drama, and the top stays simple. Now, as I've mentioned to you guys before, I've discovered that I feel really overwhelmed in big skirts, but I think they look fabulous on other people. Seeing these outfits made me wish that I liked wearing full skirts because they looked so great. I especially like the button-up shirt combo. The pattern I'd reach for first is Yarrow, a 2-tiered midi skirt with an elastic waistband, inseam pockets, and a pleated hem that gives it really beautiful movement. The rectangular panels make it perfect for border prints or eyelet. And there's a member bonus version with 3 tiers if you want even more drama. drama. I think a simple cotton poplin in white, cream, or tan has just the right amount of body for this look, and paired with a crisp, oversized button-up, it would be just about perfect. If you prefer a more tailored silhouette, Kenzie is your skirt. It has knife pleats, a fitted waistband at the natural waist, and a hem that hits below the knee. Pleating is such a satisfying skill once you get the hang of it, and the result is really polished. For summer, I'd make this in a linen or a chambray. In fall, a wool suiting or flannel. And if you want something a bit more romantic, Elowen has a shaped yoke that dips into a gentle V at the front with a gathered skirt that creates this really fluid, beautiful silhouette. The yoke is fully lined and there's an invisible zipper at the back. It works in such a wide range of fabrics: linen, cotton lawn, eyelet, seersucker, chambray, challis. When I first got to Paris, it was still cool and rainy, so everyone was wearing their spring outerwear. And let me tell you, I have never seen so many people in navy. The most common version was a double-breasted blazer worn over everything from jeans to knit dresses. People just threw it on without thinking, and it looked incredible every time. Part of it is the color. Navy is polished without being harsh, and it goes with almost everything you already own. But the real secret is the silhouette. A double-breasted blazer does the work, so the rest of the outfit doesn't have to. My first recommendation for this trend is the Keaton blazer because it's exactly the silhouette I kept seeing in Paris. It's a double-breasted blazer with a slim, relaxed fit. Notch collar, two-piece sleeves with staggered decorative buttons, lightweight shoulder pads, and a fully bagged lining. There's some soft tailoring involved too, which gives it that substantial, considered feel. A double-breasted blazer doesn't go anywhere either. You sew it once, you wear it for the next 10 years. For the full Parisian effect, I'd make this in a deep navy wool suiting with gold buttons. If blazers aren't your thing, the maple peacoat is another option. I definitely saw plenty of those too. Double-breasted front, oversized collar, a single back vent, fully lined with functional single welt pockets. For fabric, you want something heavyweight: Melton wool, cashmere, boucle, or boiled wool. Make it navy and you have an absolutely timeless piece. And if you want something more relaxed, Rhoda is a boxy lined jacket with a high round neckline, a slightly cropped length, and a 3-button closure. Really clean, modern shape that works over basically everything. I'd do a navy wool tweed with big gold buttons. By the way, this is exactly where the Seamwork wardrobe planning kit becomes your best friend. It's designed to help you figure out which of these pieces will actually work in your wardrobe and how to build a cohesive sewing plan around them. Grab it for free in the description. Now, here's the trend I could totally get behind: the slip skirt. I saw sleek little slip skirts absolutely everywhere, and these are definitely more my jam than big skirts are. Soft, sleek, worn low on the hips with tops loosely layered over them. Very relaxed, very unconstructed. And if that specific styling isn't your thing, a slightly longer or looser top gives you the same easy feeling without bearing any skin. The bias cut and elastic waist do all the work. You get movement, drape, and a silhouette that looks expensive without being complicated to sew. The whole vibe is effortless. Like you got dressed in 2 minutes and somehow looked exactly right. What I love about sewing this trend is that you get complete control over the fabric. I saw versions of this skirt in silk, satin, and sometimes trimmed with lace. When you sew your own, you can create a look that's totally unique and custom. My personal favorite for this look is the Desi skirt, and it's one I've made twice so far. It's cut on the bias, which gives it this really beautiful, fluid shape, the diagonal seam across the middle that creates a silhouette unlike anything else. I made my last one in a silk cotton blend, added scalloped lace at the hem, and I swapped the encased elastic for lingerie elastic at the waist to really lean into that slip skirt feeling. Reach for light to medium weight woven fabrics such as linen, chambray, rayon challis, rayon blends, and rayon twill. I especially love this skirt in silk and silk blends. If you prefer something with a cleaner and more minimal line, Pauline is a lovely option. It's a midi-length straight skirt with princess seams and a small front vent that makes it easy to move around in. I think a flowing tencel version in a beautiful color would be absolutely stunning. Long Bermuda shorts and culottes were absolutely everywhere in Paris. These are very trendy in general right now, but I wasn't expecting to see so many sophisticated interpretations. I love the way Parisians tended to dress them up a bit. Belted, tucked in, with great jewelry. Intentional and put together every time. I saw them in every length, from just above the knee to mid-calf, in black, white, denim, and a few brighter colors. There was a version for everyone. And honestly, some of the outfits were genuinely chic and timeless. I'm still not sure if I'll make a pair, but I'm closer than I've ever been. Longer styles like culottes are a bit more my thing. I'm glad those are coming back because those are so easy to wear when it's hot. For this trend, I have 3 pattern recommendations depending on what length and silhouette you're after. Elaine version 2 is the culotte. Pant legs constructed from 2 panels with a seam slit from just above the knee to the hem, which gives it a really interesting shape. Slant pockets, side zipper, and a notch detail at the center back waist that I love. I'd make these in a chino type fabric. You need at least 5% stretch, so look for a stretch woven. If you want a true Bermuda short, Heidi is the one. High-waisted, pleated, relaxed fit with a side seam and visible zipper. The pleats are really what elevate this beyond a basic short. Lengthen the pattern to bring it down toward the knee for a proper Bermuda length. Fabric options are really wide open here. Cotton, seersucker, rayon, linen, twill, chambray. A linen version in white, belted and tucked in would look exactly right. And if pleats aren't your thing, take the member bonus version of Lars and crop it down further. It's a cropped wide leg pant in stretch wovens with waist starts, a facing finish, and an invisible zipper. Crop it to culotte or Bermuda length and you've got something really unique. I think a stretch denim with some fun top stitching would be great. I actually planned and sewed a whole travel wardrobe for this Paris trip. And in my next video, I'm giving all the details on what I made, how my plans stacked up against what I actually wore, and what I'd think about differently when sewing for travel. If you've ever tried to pack a handmade wardrobe and wondered whether you got it right, watch this video next.